You can't go drinking. You wrote that shit down.
Keep good notes.
Oh my God! Wow, that's what happened last week. All right, we had a drink last week. I guess I was several. Okay. All right. Well, you want me to start?
Please do.
Okay. We're calling this one "The Spaces Between the Hammer and the Mouse," and this is just version 1.0. This is going to give you a kind of an overview of our thinking, the thought process behind several projects that we've done in our 3 years of collaborative effort. And I think that the name will speak for itself after we go through the book.
And no animals were hurt.
Yeah, no animals. Yeah, that's purely Photoshop. Chalk one up for the mouse. So this image is of a couple of things that represent our past. On the left is a
Trophy.
hockey trophy for the World Cup. Worldwide. What is it? I don't know. Something. Is that the same? It's the World. No,
it wasn't. It was some new hockey league. I don't follow sports. I have no idea what it is.
World Federation of Hockey. It was like what the ABA was to the NBA back in the day, probably, right? It's like kind of, this is that to the NHL, I guess. It's not the Stanley Cup. That is something that Gaston worked on, developed at Gehry's office. On the right is a set for Mark Capo's Audi commercial that I designed about 10 years ago. And, you know, I think that one of the things that works well in our collaboration is what we both bring to the table. Our past experiences. Another couple of things, a Janet Jackson set that I designed for Mark Romanek on the left, and a Vivo Rova vodka bottle that Gaston did at Frank's. This is a recording studio that I did about 10 years ago. It's actually my first architectural project. At the time we were doing set design, and we get these little architecture projects in between.
And Fort Hot Rod.
Project that Gaston built.
The thing I like about these things is it's a singular built object, purpose, single purpose. Everything belongs where it needs to go, and there's really no fluff to it. It's just about one thing, going fast forward.
Yeah, but what year is it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the body's 1929, the front grille is 1934. All of the suspension is 1940s, but it's been modified. The rear end came out of a 55. The engine's a Chevrolet, but the transmission's a Ford. So it's a cobbling of parts. And the interesting thing about it is that you have all this stuff, and you want to make it work, and you just find a way to make it work. So it's about solving the problem and having fun doing it.
So that's a little bit of the background. I mean, presently, we both are interested in Burning Man Festival, and I think that a little bit of that infuses our work. Not so much the aesthetics of Burning Man, the furry boots, the blue naked people, but it's the DIY seizing the means of production, spectacle, working outside without reference to any canon necessarily.
In the sense of creating an image that's going to live with you for the rest of the year, and to look forward to going back next year and pick up all the amazing things you saw.
And also performance aspect of making things, the community side of it. And all these things are, I mean, at least in theory, are done without any financial, for non-commercial purposes. It's quite big. So we'll get into some projects. This is the combination of factors that went into the production of Maximilian Shell, which is a project we did at Materials and Applications in Silver Lake about 2.5 years ago. And those ingredients are, on the left, the brilliant Friado. In the middle, the Disney sci-fi flop thriller piece of shit, Black Hole. And on the right, the R&D. And all those combined equal this. So how did we do that. We'll start with Gehry, Otto. His interest in tents is kind of in fabric, non-rigid structures. Kind of did a lot of pioneering work of that on that kind of stuff in the mid-20th century, early 20th century, and specifically the development of minimal surface theory as it applies to architectural scale structures. So on the left you see a soap film, which is created by taking 3 strings and dipping it into a solution of soap film. And on the right is a machine that was intended to record those soap films. So you take the image of the soap film, it's in this vacuum chamber that's super cooled, and so they freeze the soap film, take a picture of it, record it, rotate it around, record it again. Now this is all done analog, an analog methodology. Then this is his array of cameras that were intended to monitor tension across the various cables in the, I believe this was the 1968 Montreal Expo building. Or no, actually, this is the Munich Stadium. Now, this bubble stuff is really not necessary anymore due to developments in finite element analysis and computer models. So on the left you see the ground glass image, and then on the right a digital version of it. So it's kind of that. These are the shoulders that we're standing on when we approach this project, at least from a basic formal, because we have a basic formal agenda, and then we had a kind of a formal set of interests, and then we had things that kind of grew beyond that, and grew off of it, literally grew off of it. So the third thing is the black hole. The second thing, and I'm going to briefly read this. Cut me off if it's just boring. There's something endearingly human. This is a quote from Roger Ebert, the film critic. There's something endearingly human about our ability to take the most astonishing ideas and treat them as trivial stories. Take as an example the idea of black holes in outer space and the story of Walt Disney's The Black Hole. The concept of black holes has trickled down now from the ivory towers of Cambridge to the middle ground of Scientific America and finally to the funny pages. There may be special places in the universe where collapsing stars have set up gravity fields so dense that not even light can escape them. Would an object falling into it be accelerated beyond the speed of light? The possibilities are mind-boggling. One of them, much favored by science fiction writers, is that black holes are tunnels in space, and that we fall into them. That if we fell into them, we might emerge a bit scorched, perhaps, from a white hole somewhere else in the universe. They've also inspired wonderfully apocalyptic notions. And this would be preferable to what happens in the black hole, which takes us away to the rim of space only to bog us down into talking melodrama whipped up out of mad scientists and haunted houses. Oh, this is Roger Ebert here down in the left there with Russ Meyer, by the way. And he incidentally, Rem Koolhaas wrote a screenplay for Russ Meyer. The basic problem with the black hole is that it doesn't really confront the challenge of being fiction about a black hole. The black hole is there, all right, and the characters gaze into it, make a solemn statement, and Maximilian Schell seems properly obsessed with it. But we don't feel a sense of wonder. There's no awe. The hole's a gimmick that the movie can cut away to. In between onboard plotting and scheming in the movie's end, there is a sensational visual payoff. But somehow it comes too late. The events leading up to it have been so trivial and cliche, even cliche-ridden, that the movie doesn't earn its climax. And what do you know? Black holes retain their reputations. Nothing can escape from them, not even this movie. So this is probably the most extensive part of that project. We were doing work with what is popularly known now as parametric modeling, but this was some studies using software called Top Solid to study assembly systems using